Hey, welcome to Ring Along Tuesday. We're starting again. All right. I'm going to give Maybel her treat because she's waiting for it, as always. This week's treat is brought to you by the cottage cheese that was in my fridge. This is exciting. I don't actually usually give her some cottage cheese, but I think that she's going to like it just as much as the yogurt and the peanut butter. And little salmon flakes. So here you go, Maybel. You can start to enjoy that. Go see. All right. And we can get to it. All right. So today we're just going to continue. We're almost done this rig. We're going to do I believe we're going to try to work on the arm today. Again, we're still going through these textures and pulling them apart, pulling them out, taking them from the Photoshop file, putting them into the rig, extending them. So keep going. But I think I don't think we got too many weeks left. I have a feeling it's going to be maybe next week we'll be ending this one. So let's see how it goes. And we'll continue. Let me share my screen. All right. All right, finished textures or finished arm, more like finished textures and finished arm. Let's delete that and let's see. Oh, you know, we still got quite a bit of work to do. We got deformers that we have to add as well, so maybe it will be a little longer than 2 weeks. 2 weeks feels very ambitious. All right, where are we? This is the head. This is the headband and the hair knot. We've got this. Okay. All right, we got to add this cutter. Shirt shadows. Update the photo. Update in the Photoshop file. The neckline. Shirt pattern. The shirt texture. All right, let's check out this shirt for a quick second. Let's see if we've got some skin. Hiding in here. All right, we do not. Let's see, how can we do this? Do we want to do a cutter or do we want to do a reveal? Since it's one piece, maybe I'll do a reveal. And what I mean by that is we're going to take this shape of the shirt, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to put the skin underneath of it. And now we'll take this right here, the neckline, and I'm going to add a couple layers to let's see what's in our neckline. All right, so we've got our details here, 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 and here. All right, yeah, we have these 2 rows that are empty. So let me cut this, put it here, and let's make the underlay a cutter. So we do have a free row. So let's grab one of these, copy. Okay, let's put this here. We'll have to reset this group just a little bit because it's not quite. Oh, am I making one up? Yeah. It's not quite. What is it? What am I trying to say here? It's not quite the setup that we want. This is like for the seamless limbs, for the seamless system, and even this one is not quite that one. But let's see. We want the cutter. We want it to be cut by the. What are we cutting this by? The body, the shirt. We want that. Let's connect this, and we want all 3 of these. So, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Just the composite, please. Copy view. so we got our overlay, our underlay, not our underlay, everything but the underlay, not that one. That's our auto patch. Alright, so that, now we've got all 3 layers being cut. So that's essentially what we had before, but now what we're going to do is we're going to add another element in the underlay that is the cutter that's going to reveal the skin underneath the shirt. And then this way what we're going to do is we're going to avoid the halos. That way we don't have any extra pieces. It'll be connected to the neckline, so if the neckline moves, the skin will still be there. We'll have to figure out how to get the textures. We'll have to still have those textures on the skin, but we'll see. We'll see what this looks like. Let's give this a shot. All right, so let's try to get the copy view. Okay, so actually, let's do, instead of doing that, we'll do this, because this is going to allow us to trace, and we'll turn this off, so we're only affecting our layer, and let's do this by line. Let's put the overlay on top real quick so we can we see it? No, we can't see it. Let's turn this off. What do I want to do? I want to see the whole thing. Okay, well, we'll just do our best that we can. We'll eyeball this. I was hoping to add an element to this, but okay, and we'll do this. And right now we're just kind of tracing the outline of that neck piece. Good. That's good enough. Maybe add one more. Okay. Okay, so now we got that traced. We can turn our seeing eye off. And let's extend this a little bit. Probably doesn't have to be as big since it's right here. We've definitely overdrawn this piece, but it's not the worst. And let's do another connector. Hey, Smiley Beaks, how are you? Nice to see you. Are you working on anything with me today? Alright, now let's double check. We do have this is going to be pink. But we'll probably have to put that pink on another layer. But for now, what we can do is we can add the cutter color. This is going to be a pretty heavy duty layer. Control X. Put it here. Actually, you know what we can do? I take it back. I take it back. Let me jump back here for a second. Put this back. Let's, instead of lining it up, let's make it a little smaller. And what this is going to do is actually going to give us that pink cuff. I was going to build the pink cuff into into the cutter itself, but I don't think that that's the right answer. So let's do this. Let's say everything is green. There should be a, now there's a gap. Yeah, now we've got a gap, which is good. And I can get rid of this layer up here. I don't want that anymore. All right, so there we go. So now we've got our gap. Haha, I like that a lot more. So the gap is there. That way the gap's gonna have the texture. If I, on the dress, and like there's some really subtle details right here. I mean, nobody's gonna notice these things, but let's do it. What are you working? You're working on a mouth comp today. Oh, awesome. Oh, very cool. Oh, that's really nice that the union's offering harmony classes. That's really awesome. I didn't know that. Working on the mouth comp. So that's really cool. Are you doing like mouth drawing swaps, or are you breaking up the mouth into smaller symbols and kind of pulling everything together? Or is it drawing swaps? All right, now we're going to use this cutter to cut the dress. So where is the shirt? Shirt's here. So let's go copy, view. Okay, and we need one more of these. Copy, view. All right. So the line art is getting cut, and the color art is running behind it. If I, oh, it doesn't look like the line art's getting cut. Let me see. What layer is everything on here? I've got the shirt pattern. Give me the shirt. So the shirt's on the line art layer. The skin is on the color art layer. Our line art layers through here. We have these things. Those are fine because they're the same. The cutters are being cut by the shirt itself. The pieces are exactly the same, so it doesn't really matter whether we pull them. I know I say stay consistent, and we can pull if you wanted to. We can pull, since we're cutting the one. We'd want to pull from the skin tone, because the skin tone is not being cut. But we are cutting the shirt, but now we're still not seeing the shirt. Let's see, we want this to be behind it. I think this is the right. Let's double check. Line art, auto patch, color art. Yeah, that's all looking good. How come this cutter's not working? Where did I break it? The underlay. Let's check this out. Yeah, I can see that cutter there. I can see that cutter there. We are cutting, oh, we probably have to cut the shirt pattern as well. Let's copy, view. There it is. Okay, excellent. Let's cut both. Bring all of our cutters down so that our lines are not crisscrossed. That looks pretty good. Still got some issues with the pattern here, but we'll figure that out. All right, let's keep going. And I guess we could probably make that gap a little bit bigger. Let's do that before we leave. You're mostly organizing in shapes, the tweening for in between most shapes. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's kind of a nice part though, because you're just like moving stuff around. If I remember correctly, you're just kind of either dragging the keyframes around or copying and pasting, creating new layers. I think I like that organizing part of Flash. A little bit nitty gritty. And yeah, they're on your weekend. Your next one's coming up this weekend. They will need to buy the licenses for the month. Got it. Got a break coming up, so looking forward to playing around with it. Very nice. For Harmony, you're going to play around with Harmony? Very cool. Yeah, you'll have to let me know how that goes. That's pretty nice. So you are in the training and then they provide you the licenses. That's always really great. These are patterns, really look neat and complicated. After playing around in Harmony a bit, I can see how this would be much more doable here than in Flash. I couldn't imagine recreating the patterns in Flash, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. What are you doing for your training? What are you taking? Like, is it animation? Is it rigging? There we go. That looks good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Maybe a little bit too thick, but that's a millimeter. All right. We still want to do the arm. Okay, so I know I have to build the arm. I'm gonna have to build the arm. So maybe I'll start with that. We'll call this the arm composite. Oh, this composite's so far away. I think that was that one. Okay, that looked good. Alright, so let's do the hand. A little bit of both. They're very beginner, but it's a nice, gentle intro. Yeah, that's how you want. that's might not be my skill set, but that's really what you want when you're just starting out harmony. That's honestly that's really what I have to work on. I have to remember that I have too much experience sometimes, and I think things are easier than they are for others. But it's easy with anybody with with a skill set. It's very easy for us to forget that beginners that beginner feeling. We think things are easier than they are, but yeah, I know working for Toon Boom, that was a really big probably the biggest eye opener for me was like, okay, I can see how I have to slow down. And that was a really good skill for me to really pick up. I don't know if I'm rigging, I don't know if I'm teaching slow in this scenario here, but definitely. Are you enjoying it? I guess that'd be the biggest question. Are you learning from it? Nice. Really nice. That's really awesome. I forgot what I was doing for a second. Upper arm. Upper arm, and then sleeve. Oh gosh, it's so hot here. How's the temperature where you are? It's a nice program once you've got some of the basics down. When you're brand new, it can seem overwhelming. Yeah, Harmony is definitely overwhelming for any new user. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Day one, we would really just focus on really when I'm working on rigging. When I teach rigging, I don't really teach rigging until the third day, just because you're getting people used to the software. So like you have to learn where things are. You have to learn how drawings are kept. You have to learn that lingo Your drawing node is here. Your drawing layers are here. You have your actual drawing like stored in those layers. And then you have to, and then it's all the layering involved. So it can be a lot of practice. I would say that the number one thing that I can recommend, if you allow me to, would be to just keep at it. Try and stay consistent. What happens with harmony is you use it for, and I think you said that the classes are on weekends. So during the week, and I would see this with my staff. So this is how I know this to be true. When my staff was new and they were just learning harmony, I like I swear, from Friday to Monday, they'd forget everything. And I'd always just say, listen, just take 30 minutes to just like think about it. Think about where things are in the software, and then that would not it would set you back on the like you're on Monday you'd be set back a little bit, but you wouldn't be set back so far. And then you can kind of keep going, and it probably took a couple months for people to really like have the whole harmony kind of be comfortable in your brain when you're not feeling overwhelmed by all of the options. Yeah, it takes a little while. Now I like now and then you're gonna live and sleep and dream harmony, which is a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, on the that's really good. Yeah, side projects are awesome. Yeah, it's really important. It's really important to keep up. If you're not like using the software often, which is exactly why I'm not an animator. I can't bring myself to animate as often as I need to be an animator. But that's it. Like that's the secret. You got to get in there on a regular basis, almost daily, Yeah, you need a big challenge. Can you talk a little about your side project or? Such a nice sleeve. Okay, let's see how we're gonna. See. Okay. Just a personal idea for a basic rig, one view animation. I want to try. Think baby level of complexity. Hey, that's okay. Don't start here. Do not, this should not, let me say that again. This should not be your first harmony rig. No. No, you should definitely start small. You want to start small so that you're always like winning, you know. And I always have to remind myself of this too, because like I always think big picture and then have to break that down into smaller chunks. So like, your first rig, if it's an egg with arms and blinks, you're winning. Like it can be that simple. There's a little birdie rig that we were using for the trainings for Harmony. It was perfect. It was just a little tiny bird with little flapping wings and a little tuft of hair and legs. Um, I'm not gonna say it looked like an Angry Bird because it didn't, but it just had that shape to it, that triangular shape to it, and it was just so simple and fun for people to use. That's really all you want to do. Also, like, have fun with like regular introductory assignments, like a bouncing ball. We would do bouncing tacos, bouncing tomato, bouncing meatball, bouncing sushi. Just have fun with that design, and you know, all it is a bouncing ball, but it doesn't have to actually be a bouncing ball. It can be a little tiny basic rig, and if you can do a loop, that's a huge success. Oh yeah, definitely cool to watch. Don't. And it's a good thing to know, especially when eventually what I'm gonna have to do is start locking the patterns so that the patterns don't interfere with the animation. So if you wanted to bring in a texture, um, whether you make it in Photoshop or Flash, you can make a texture in Flash. Although I don't know why you'd want to make your texture in Photoshop and bring that into Harmony the same way that I did, and you can put that on your character, give it a little skin. Little things like that really bring out, really make simple rigs look more complex. And that's always a really nice feature, I would say. Yeah, but I wouldn't start with this rig. It's like half built in Photoshop, half built here by me. It's kind of like a hybrid. It's like a Franken build. These are like, when I work like this in a show, it's really like I need something so fast, and I could say that part of this is not fast. As I've mentioned before, like going back and having design like clean up their layers a little bit would have saved time here. And when I'm working with a studio and I'm asking for that, it's a little bit easier. But yeah, this rig I would say is a Franken build, and I don't think it's going to be complicated to animate. But it's not going to be typical. Oh yeah, Flash would not be able to. Uh, yeah, that's what's nice about the pegs is you can isolate all the movements. So if you even have rotations on one peg, sometimes you go to a studio and what they do is you have all your pegs, like everything will have its own peg, and then those pegs will have a peg, and those pegs will have a peg, and it's like one is for squash and stretch, one is for tweening, and one is for rotating. And it's just like a very wild way to think about isolating all of your movements, but it's very true. And with Harmony, that's what you want to do when you're animating. Is you want to keep track of how you're isolating your movements and how you're isolating the parts that are moving, I should say. Yeah. Oh, undo. It's very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. You would use the nested symbols within the symbols to achieve a similar result, but the pegs are nice because you can see and edit the different motions easier. Yeah, 100%. And if you need to figure out where a motion was, what you do is you deactivate the peg. So if you deactivate the peg and you see the opposite of what you're trying to find in your camera view, that's how you know you've found the peg that's doing the thing that you need to do. So that one takes practice, a little bit of experience, but to like figure out. But yeah, I can see why animators love Harmony so much. It's hard once you go, like, for me it was the cutters, the simplicity of the cutters. That was we didn't have at the time they weren't they didn't have these little masks, so a cutter just looked I'm covering with my hand, but the cutter just looked like this. It was just a blue box without the mask, and yeah, we had to dive in and say invert or not. But that little effect right there had me. I was like, oh, that's way easier than building a mask, and then like an inverted mask you had to build, and then you have to basically punch a hole with the shape that you needed. And that was, I don't know if it's still like that. Is it still like that? Because that to me, I was like, that's too much work. Yeah, yeah, flash masks are the worst. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you have an idea what you're gonna do for your rigs, like for your little assignment, like what your independent project's gonna be? Like if you've already done a ball bounce, like what's your next goal? Are you gonna work up to um, uh, like a walk cycle or a little jump, or you want to animate a sloth? Oh, that'd be so cute. Yeah, that'd be super nice. Crawling slowly on his long nails. Nice. Very nice. That'll be fun. It'd be fun to animate, and then you can eventually build a tree, and then you can get the slow climb, and then if you pose him in a nap, you're done. Your animation, you got all your animations right there. Mm, okay, what am I doing? I've lost track of what I was doing. All right, we've got our sleeve. We're gonna need a sleeve shadow. I guess I'll add that. We've got our upper arm shadow. Let's do our sleeve shadow. And then we might have to go fishing for the artwork. Sleeve. Mm. Exporting from Harmony, super easy too. It's really, I mean, unless you're talking about the exporting from the right nodes, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. But most people don't have to even really worry about this. You can just go up here to export, and your render right nodes are more for like super. They're more for shows, like working at a studio. They're gonna have their own right node specifications, so they kind of set that up for you. So you depend, and if you're on a smaller studio, maybe you have to set it up yourself. But a bigger studio, they will have those render nodes, like they'll have their own rules, and they're usually set up in the scene for you. But you can render out a movie, an animated GIF, or GIF. OpenGL frames will give you like your individual images. You can render out a Swift file. I don't know anybody that does it. I haven't had to do that in a long time. And a layout image, or a layout image from the selection. That's really just like the image of the camera, or what the camera's looking at. And yeah, it's pretty easy. You just render from your computer. Yeah, for sure. And it's really fun to export GIFs. So I hope that you're rendering out a ton of GIFs. Super easy. Yeah, it's the right nodes that are this is where it gets a bit more complicated, but most of the time this is set up for you, and when you send your scene to render, the studio basically takes it from you, puts it where they need to, and then you have to know where that file location is. Sometimes you have to move it, but those parts are pretty simple. Yeah. Right nodes are definitely easier than they look. They look more complicated than they are. But they're also very powerful, but they definitely look more complicated than they are. So I don't think you have to worry about that. And I just realized I drew my arm in the wrong spot. So let me put this back. Where's my node view? There we go. back. Let's put this here. All right, and let's find. I think we have to go through and look for our layers. Okay. All right, let's make this a little bit bigger so we can see what we have left. We've got the pattern stripes. These are on the shirt. Let's hide that. It's in the way. All right, we've got our ponytail. That's a shadow. This is our ponytail. There is a hair texture here. Here is our more of our skin shadows, face highlights, skin. Okay, we've got a backhand. That's there. Right, where is... Okay, let's find... We gotta find this hand. That is not a hand. Let's get rid of that. And nose blush, hairlines, teeth lines, mouth lines, cola. What is over here? Did I leave it over here? Headbands, earring. Okay, wait, let's do this side by side. If we can. We can't. I think we've brought all of those over, so I'm going to unplug that one. We've got freckles. I think I brought those over too. Where is the... Oh, hey, Toontastic. Welcome back. I don't think you're going to be doing studio harmony work for a while yet, but the more I learn, the better prepared you will be. Yeah, for sure. And there's definitely a lot of harmony, and you mentioned you're in Vancouver, so you're going to have a lot of harmony opportunities. And, I mean... take the rest of the year. Make it a goal. So you could definitely make it a goal and be hired for, you know, when studios start to ramp up, there's going to be a lot of Harmony projects, you know, after the strikes, and then after whatever, however that starts up again. But it will, and there will be a ton of jobs, and there should be a ton of jobs anyway. Yeah, and then you can hop on Harmony projection at that point. But if you took the rest of the year to practice and get better and start like producing, whether you want to be rigging, do you have a yeah, jobs. Do you have a preference whether you're rigging or animating, or do you just not care? Which I know is a very typical answer, but I recommend picking a direction and hoping for both, if that makes sense. Okay, I gotta figure out how I lost the hand. This is gonna be the annoying part. Is there another hand? Somewhere here? Let's see. Let's see if it'll show up in my drawing substitutions. Otherwise, I'm just going to redraw them. Let's do this. We'll do this a quick scan. It looks like it was cut out with something, but I don't see that layer. All right. So we'll girl skin. Where is that one? Okay, I'm gonna steal. I'm pretty sure this one's done. And by done, I mean it's been brought into the rig. So what I'm gonna do is go find that girl skin. There you go. There you go. So we're gonna put this layer onto the hand so that it has that texture, and the arm. All right. So what layer was this one? We'll do this. I'll mark it so I don't lose it again. Deactivate. Oh, nice. Well, congratulations. Then you'll get to Harmony when you get to Harmony. That's pretty awesome that you got a contract lined up already. That's a huge jump. That's really cool to know that there's shows being contracted for. That's great. That's great news. Been waiting to use it for over 15. You've been using it for 15 years now, and you'll probably work in it as long as I can while building up your Harmony skills. Nice. That's awesome. You have a ton of rigging experience, sounds like. Yeah, you definitely know how to break a character down. That's the hardest part. Learning the software is not as hard as understanding how to break up the character properly. So that's half the battle. So that's really good. You're gonna be fine when you get there. All right, let's go back to this and this, and let's this one. Okay. Let's deactivate this. Let's deactivate all these. Let's do this. All right, let's do circles. Let's do this properly. I'm gonna put it here. Control R, circles, add and close. I mean, here, this is your rigging lesson number 1. Your circles, your joints. This is such a crucial part to the rigging process, is making your limbs. So you do the circle, you place that where the joint would be. You kind of want the center of the circle to be matched up with here. So our hand can either be, if we want to have that, like, I don't know how to make my hand look like that, like curviness to it. We can keep that circle. See that halfway point's right here. So all this extra information there, or we can bring it down. But I don't know. I don't really like doing it this way. We have a smaller wrist essentially. This gives it a smaller wrist. I would probably do something in the middle. Let's see, maybe so it's not so big. Yeah, all right. And then from here, you would do a little dot in the middle. So if you, in Harmony, any of the drawing tools, you can access them temporarily, but like instantly, by not hitting Alt. So a drawing tool, the shortcuts are going to be like Alt backslash or Alt B for brush. Alt I would be paint. Alt T is the cutter tool. But if you don't hold down Alt and you just hold down the letter that corresponds, then you can access that tool really quickly, which is really nice. And so now I know where my circles are going to be. Let me change the color so that it's bright. And I'm just going to put this on my hand drawing and my upper arm drawing. So the hand, we can change this to the skin color. And we'll add our contour points to start making the shape. So something like this. Alright, so there we go. So there's our hand, and now I've already got the, did I not grab that layer? Oh, wrong one. Here we go. So then we got our upper arm. Now, because I'm not seeing I'm not really seeing like a jointed upper arm, and again, she doesn't have to do much. So if this was a full cartoon, we would build the whole arm, but we can take this shortcut. We can take this shortcut. So let's do it. And we're gonna take another shortcut too. So I'm just gonna pull all these. I'm just very mindful that I don't touch the bottom half of the circle, but I am gonna fudge this circle a little bit. Let me finish up here. Okay, so the reason being is the lower arm, if it follows the whole circle, it's cutting into the tips of the fingers, and you don't really want that. So we're gonna shorten this arm just a little bit, and I can even bring this up a smidgen. And the reason why this is gonna work is because I'm using that circle, but I'm kind of deviating from the circle a little bit. But we're gonna always have proper overlap between the hands and the upper arm, because the hand is the full circle and I'm only chopping the lower arm. If I was to go into the hand and say chop this, then we're gonna have gaps. So because one of those drawings is totally has that circle totally there, we're not gonna have any gaps. So we're gonna be able to to rig this arm without any problems. Let's see, let's change this color to skin tone. Let's do this, skin tone. And I can hide my circle now. But when I go to create my pegs, I know exactly where my pivot point has to be for my wrist. So we can keep this out here. I don't usually keep this inside the rig. I usually keep it over for reference. So somewhere in our main, and then that way it's still there, but it's not in the way. But that's something that you'd want to practice as rigging. That's probably the #1 assignment that I give people. And then I also change the shape of the arm. Like, just build a whole bunch of arms. Just build 5 arms that are different sizes, different shapes, different like noodle arms, thick arms, muscular arms, angular arms even. Give yourself some, building a proper joint that rotates well, that's hard. It's harder. It takes a little bit more practice than you think. It looks easy, but not everybody gets it on the first try. And especially when you start to apply it to different shapes. But that's the magic. Yeah, give that a shot. That's also a fun assignment, especially for rigging. Yeah, the transition from Flash to Harmony is, I would say that's definitely easier. What's hard, I find, is once you're comfortable in Harmony, it's hard to go back to Flash. And that is not something that is something that I've heard from a lot of people. Like, that's not just one person's opinion. That's a lot of people's opinion. All right, let's see. All right, we've got our arm. We've got our skin shadow. We need to have, let's see, I want to use, I think I'm using these, maybe not that one, I'm using this, these groups to cut the pattern into the shape, so I'm going to do that with the hand. That's the neck. And arm as well. Alright, so let's bring this here. There's definitely a pattern that's cutting through all these items, so let's do that. Let's figure out what we're going to put on here. We got to go searching again, so let's find the textures. Alright, so this is the hand texture. Let's see. So we'll just cut it. Control X. I'm going to put it on the interior of the hand for right now, but it might need to be a separate piece. Maybe I need to change this layering a little bit. Just turn it into a bitmap layer. Happen. What did I do? Okay. Control A. Let me see. Control A. I want to. Okay, and so let's see if we can put is it working? Okay, so no, it's not working. Okay, let's check our layers one more time. So our overlay is only shown in our, maybe we don't need this overlay if it's the same color. Our overlay is being cut by our line art. It's only being cut by our line art. Well, we color picked very well. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at this design. Something is not adding up. What is going on with this design? I need more texture on it. Okay, let's see. Our hand, we got two, I don't know if I need that layer. I just need a different overlay. Let's get rid of it for a quick second. Well, I think I just need more textures. I don't think I used the right texture. So that's not the texture I want to put there. There's going to be another one. All right, let's see. We've done this one. So it's not that one. This worked out really well. Let's flip through. Let's see, how are we going to find this? Which one? How are we going to do this? I think we might, I feel like I'm trying to go after specific pieces, and this is what I was mentioning at the beginning. Like when you're looking for things, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack, but when you are just going layer by layer and bringing them into the rig, that's kind of a more productive way to work. So I might have to go more texture equals more power. Put that on a t-shirt. Hey, Toon Boom, put that on a t-shirt. Just kidding. I would make all the animators and all the riggers so upset. Let's see. Okay, let's forget about what I just tried to do, and let's just go through what's left. I don't need this one. Arm stripe. I do have to add that on the arm though, so let's bring that into the arm. So let's say upper arm. Let's put it on on the sleeve, not the upper arm. Hair details. Can do this too. Freckles. All right, let's go in here and let's steal some of these. Control X. Let's go to the hand. We put something on the overlay, but that's not going to work. We don't need that. Pasting, and come on. paste. Okay, undo. I'm gonna undo until I can see these freckles. Let's try this again. I'm doing a copy this time, so copy. Going to the hand, going into the overlay, delete this, paste. There we go. Alright, and then we'll put it on the upper arm as well. So upper arm in the overlay, Control V. Okay. Now we'll do this, bring that back down, and we should see, there we go. Now we've got freckles in the hands and the upper arm. And we'll be cutting them the same way that we did the hand. Every time you delete a texture, an animator gets their wings. Every time you delete a text, that actually makes a lot of sense. I like it. Put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. That the animator gets the wings. It's so helpful whenever we can negotiate removing a texture. Everybody sings. That is a true statement. It makes an animator's life much easier. Okay, I think I have the freckles on my rig. I do, so I think I'm done with this layer, so I can unplug it. All right, so let's see what else is left here. This is working for me. Whatever I was doing? I was doing this and manually selecting them. All right, so we've got the girl, the face highlights. Okay, so copy, deactivate it, activate it. Let's go to the hand. Okay, and we just won't flatten anything. And we'll put our freckles on top. Arrange. Send back. Alright. Then we'll put that on our upper arm as well. View. So now we got them on our drawings. Okay, deactivate upper arm. We're gonna deactivate that. Skin shadow. We want this. Copy. Upper arm, activate. And I'm going to take this. I'm going to trim what I don't need. But I'm going to take it, and I'm going to copy it, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to flip it, because I want that sleeve to be bigger. For under the arm. I'm going to stretch it a little. and now the shadow is animatable separately from the arm. Alright, that's looking good. Alright, so let's give these some cutters. So let's go say copy, Control B. We want our upper arm is definitely alright, we got that, we got that. Upper arm is going to be cut. Copy, view. The upper arm. Here we go. Ooh, looking nice. All right. Control save. Toontastic, what are you working on while you're with us today? Anything? Okay, let's do... Okay, we need to bring out the patterns. Where are the patterns? Shirt patterns. Here it is. Let's deactivate these cutters for a second. Deactivate. And we're going to let all of this, which is right here, we're going to make a copy. Control V, Control B. All right, there's a couple ways that we can do this. We can either put the shirt pattern right on top of the arm, up on top of the sleeve. So it's actually going to be here. And we can copy, do something similar like this, and then that way the sleeve is, what is going on here? The sleeve, how is this? I'm just wondering where that line is. Hang on here. Did I put that here? I put this on here, didn't I? But I didn't. Oh, I did. I thought I trimmed it. Do I want that to stay? Let's delete it. Let's say sleeve pattern. Leave it like that. And let's, the arm squiggle, let's do something fun with that. Let's give that its own. We've got our sleeve shadow. We haven't added our sleeve shadow yet, but we've got our shirt pattern, which I'm gonna lock. And I'm gonna put this on top. And And we'll call this the shirt detail, the shirt line, whatever that wrinkle is. Because we can put a deformer on that. I think we can put a deformer on that. It's pretty like, it's a delicate drawing, so we can see what we can do, but I think we can put a deformer on that. So let's see. Arm lines. Okay, so that's here. Now let's put that. I'm gonna put that. So I've just gone in and made it a little more specific. I'm trying to figure out where the best spot to put this is. The overlay, does it need to be in front? It's like the shadow is too, it's like the arm is too big. So let me make adjustments to my sleeve. Let's make the sleeve a little bit shorter. And we'll just bake this in with the whole arm, because I think that's going to be okay. You're modeling a character called Skull Kid from the game Majora's Mask. Oh, nice. Are you playing that game, or is that like an old game? I don't know this game. So once you finish it, you're going to texture it and rig it. Nice. That's pretty cool. You'll have to keep me posted on your progress. Are you learning a lot about textures here? All right, there we go. Now we've got an arm. And I don't need this drawing. I added that at the last minute. All right, that's good. Holy smokes, it's coming together. Sleeve shadow. All right, what's next? I need the skirt. Did I not build her skirt, her lower body? Let me do a quick activate all. Oh no, I do have a lower body. My goodness, isn't she not looking fabulous? Alright, what's left? Shadows in the body are there. Which one is this one? What is this? Okay, shadow needs fill. Let's see what that means. All right, this. Okay, this is going to be a challenge. Let's see. What can we do here? It's pretty extreme. Let's see if we can try to mimic this. I'm going to use my pen instead of my mouse. All right, let's just chip away. Let's do a square. Copy, view. What I'm doing right now, oh, that was not a good. All I'm doing right now is trying to, oh, why is this doing this to me? Okay. What is that actually doing? Oh, it's taking everything. Okay, so copy, view. I'm just trying to create a shape that's like similar to the arm. I'm trying not to, I'm really trying not to overlap, because it's gonna cause, like, you can see that where it's overlapping. So I really don't want to do that. So let's see. Did I just pull that? Let's not do that. Okay. Oh goodness, what buttons am I pressing right now? All right, let's try this again. Copy view. That's kind of hidden. All right. Let me see. This is gonna look weird. This part's This upper part's gonna be tough to copy view. Copy view. Let's just see if we can duplicate a whole bunch of pieces and obviously. Let's see. No, it doesn't. I don't know. It's almost gradient. Like it's almost there, but it's definitely rough. I don't know if this is working. Let me undo. It kind of works. Kind of doesn't work. I wish I could go into Photoshop. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. The only thing that I'm worried about is this is going to be a hoping, I don't want this to be heavy. Ooh. Let's do one more. No, let's do that one more time. All right, let's do, just want to make sure I don't cut off the parts that I want. All right, which is that nice feathery top feeling. Again, we're not going for perfection here, but we are going for something that is passable. And this is the underarm armpit, so if that's passable, that would be great. Without having to go back into the Photoshop file, excellent. What do I mean by heavy? Everything about textures. Okay, wait, let me catch up. You're gonna texture it, Brigitte. What are those? Oh, it's a Zelda game. I see. Oh, N64. Okay, so this N64, I stopped playing video games after Nintendo 64 because I couldn't handle, like, I was playing a lot of Crash Bandicoot, but the camera angles, I was getting like sick to my stomach from motion sickness playing those games, and that's kind of where my interest in games fell, which sucked. But I see, yeah, I never got into Zelda games except for the Mario Wii. That was a lot of fun. I did play the Mario. I was like going fishing all the time in the Zelda game. All right, textures. And what do I mean by heavy? So textures is just like a lot of information on one layer. So, and Harmony holds a lot of information. So you have to think like right down to these pivot points. I'm using a bad example. Let's see, let me grab. There we go. Okay, so when you get into it, and you start to break things down, all the information that's packed in a Harmony file, it just holds a lot of information. So what I mean by that is even right down to these contour points, each contour point is information that the program has to remember. So let's say, and you get a list a lot, let's say, which button is it? Do you want to add? Come on. Add. It should be this button. What's going on here? Add. What's the... There we go. Control. Alright, so when you get into shapes like this, and they have too many contour points, this was a trend that I was watching at Toon Boom. I saw people were adding the contour points because what that does in the drawing level is it kind of creates, if you've got a deformer on something, your deformer can make it look like it's interfering with your drawing even though it's not affecting your drawing. So the way to fix that is you add some contour points, but the trend that I was noticing was people were caring so much about the deformers, and the deformers looking good in OpenGL, that they were going into these shapes and they were adding a whole bunch of these contour points. But every one of these contour points is a piece of information. So that is essentially weight added to a scene, especially when you've got a cutout animation or a cutout character. When you have 100 pieces, if you've got 100 pieces and they each have 100 contour points, when, you know, 6 would do, 6 or 7 would do, that's something. There is always a reason to add more contour points, but something like this, it's not necessary. So, but when you're looking at like what I've just done, what I've done, and I can't flatten it, because then it looks like that. Although that looks cool, I can get behind that. But what I've done is I've basically just like taken this bitmap file, copied it, pasted, 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 pasted. So now I have this. It's like this one layer is not going to create too much weight in the scene. And again, it's going to be a bigger rig, but we're just doing the one view, so it shouldn't be too heavy. But I still don't want any type of lag on a one view rig. So it's a bit dicey. And again, if I was more adept at Photoshop, I would just go into the Photoshop file, make the changes that I would need in the layer. But to be fair, it would take me, if not more time, to go into the Photoshop file, figure out how to create the brush, because I don't have Luis's brushes. Yeah, so it just takes us as much time. So I'd rather you reuse his artwork and try to make something as seamless as possible up here. It's not perfect, but like I mentioned, it's kind of under the arm, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a big deal. So it should be okay. And then from here, let's see. What are we going to work on? We're going to we need to cut this. So we don't need to fill the shadow anymore. That's done, but we do need to cut it. So this can only be seen. We'll do this, and we'll take a composite. These pass-through composites, they also create weight in the scene. We're all using composites, pass-through composites wrong. Fun fact. That's going to be that's going to be that's going to cause some controversy. But yeah, we're using too many pass-through composites in our rigs, but we love them. So, but every pass-through composite that adds a lot of weight to a scene. So if you can cut down on your pass-through composites or composites in general, but once you start mixing pass-through composites with bitmap composites, you've just got a animation nightmare. So I did a rigging nightmare, because that's its own layering puzzle that becomes a layering puzzle. So that would be hard. So you don't necessarily want that either. All right, let's cut this by the shirt and the skirt. Skirt texture, we want the skirt. Alright, so now it's cut. Alright, let's find more shadows. And let's fix this layering here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's find that here. We got the red band. We want this is not going to be so high in the network. We want this to be a little lower. We want her whole ponytail to be a little bit lower. So where is her ponytail? Alright, let's put this. Come on. Let's put this on top of here. And let's put, it's not going to be the back thing, but it's going to be pretty close to the back thing. Let's see. All right, there we go. Right. So we might want to extend this drawing a little bit. So let's turn this on, make sure all of our layers are on, and we only have to do the one. All right. Now this. Let's make this a little bit thinner. Where's the? We want to cover the head. Maybe our head is too big. Let's trim some of this. Hang on, just changing, putting these contour points in a specific spot. Okay, there we go. A lot of times too with harmony, something to keep in mind is you really only need to, you can really get away with like adjusting drawings. A lot of times we turn to engineering to like go in and fix something, but sometimes like just going in and changing a drawing works wonders. As you can see, I just did that. Got a little bit of a layering issue right here now, but we can take care of that. Maybel, chill out, baby girl. You're fine. Alright, what's this whole thing? Okay, so this is attached onto the head layer, but it's not going to be on the hair layer. It's going to be here and here. Maybel, you're fine. Okay, let's see. This is our head layer. What's this one? Oh boy. Yeah, no worries. Always happy to have you here. Sorry, I went back and kind of zoned in. Maybel, can you come lay down, please? Come. 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 Come on. Come on. Come. Go lay down. Go lay down. Okay. All right. I think that hair is gonna have to be cleaned up a little bit. If this is the face, that's good. The ear, where's the ear? This is the ear. This is the face. We've got bangs here though too. This is where we start to get, here's the head band. I'm gonna take that out for a quick second so I'm not focusing on it. We've got this one, which is the hair knot. Then we have the hair, this is the braid. Okay, what is this? All right. R-A-I-D. Hair braid, alright. Alright, I have to think about what's going on right here. This is actually a little bit of a riddle. I'll have to figure out this layering. There's a lot of details on this hair. Part of me assumes I can just move it backwards, but I don't think that that is how that's gonna go. Let's see. So that can't go any further. That we want to have on top. This is the ear. No, that's the bangs. Right now the bangs are in front. Alright, we'll figure this out. It is a puzzle. Every day is a puzzle. I have to think about this. We'll figure this out. Because the bangs are on top. It has to be on top of the bangs. And it has to be under here. We'll think about that. All right. Call this the ear. Where's the face? Move all this over. This is the eye. Just going in and giving these. Alright, let's keep going. Let's see. Let's bring in, I saw that, so let's bring that in. We got hair details here, that's some shadows. That's some more shadows. Low ponytail shadow. Is it layer 61? Layer 61 is the winner. 61 is cut into something. Alright, let's bring this guy right here. Low band. I don't know what color this will be, but what we're gonna do is basically like the sleeve and the headband. We have to do this, so we'll create the shape, and then we'll bring that layer in and cut it right through, and that'll give us the colors that he used. Let's see. I'm gonna start with this. I guess the squares. What's your favorite part of rigging, would you say? If you've got one. When you get the layering just right for a nice, yeah. I guess that's in Flash too, right? Yeah. Yeah, especially when you start working on like more complicated and you start to like, I don't know, it's almost like turns into a game. Like you want to get it, like you want to figure it out, so you don't have to go back and make changes. That's how I feel anyway. There's a challenge. There's always a challenge there. Okay, let's see. Just make up a shape for now. Who knows what this is actually? Okay, maybe we don't even need that. Who knows what this actually is? Okay, let's fill this. Let's see. Let's say that's the red one. And then do. figuring out the most efficient solutions, even just doing very straightforward stuff, so that you can turn your brain off for just be in the flow. Yeah. And you know that finding that flow is so nice. Which I think you were like watching me dip in and out of that. But yeah, for sure. I would say that's my favorite part as well. I think that just like I get to tap into the creative process in that sense. Okay, wait. I want the line art. Actually, I don't even want the line art to be showing. I want that to be the mask. Actually, I want it to be the mask, and then the overlay will be the star of the show here. All right, so now we go to layer 61. Oof. Copy. All right, now we've got our ponytail. Let's just hide this and this for a second. See how that looks? Oh yeah, that looks okay. That looks good. What's this thing? That needs to be cut. Let's cut that next. Activate. View. The ponytail can only be seen in the ponytail. I could even composite these instead of using two cutters. Control H. What's heavier, a composite or a cutter? What do you think? Let's see what else is next. Okay, she's got a shadow behind her ear. Right here. Let's start bringing in these shadows. All right, this will give her enough definition, and I think that's probably a safe spot for me to end for the day. Oh, I have to do the other arm. I got sidetracked a little bit today. All right, let's see. Let's do Control T or Alt T. Why can't I grab this layer? It's not locked. What's going on here? It's grabbing multiple layers. And now it's not letting me grab the layers. All right. What are we locking? What are we locked out of right now? Oh, that's why. Deactivated. Alright, let's do that again. Copy. Activate. Alright, let's do some bangs. Let's do some bangs, shadows. Alright, let's do the ear. I don't know if I want to put these two back to back. Don't want to keep these separate. Let's just put it there for now. And then we got our neck. I'm going to attach this to the underlay. Alright, and then we'll go back and delete them, or not delete them, but edit them after. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the neck. We don't really have a neck. The under the chin. Okay, let's start removing some pieces. Composite. You think a composite's heavier than a cutter? Standing alone, they're probably equal. They're both heavy. But what's probably what would be the factor is what you're putting into it. So if you've got two composites of a bunch of things being fed into the two sides of the cutter, that's going to be heavy. Have you used the debug mode before? Do you know what the debug mode is? And when you ask these questions, like, things are working in like milliseconds. No? The debug mode is pretty cool, because that's going to tell you where all your hotspots are in your rig and like what's heavy. I haven't used it in a while, but I'm pretty sure, is it under, yeah, it's under help, under debug mode. So this is like a cool little thing, but here that'll actually tell you how long it takes for something to render. So this cutter will take 1 times 0 milliseconds, so it's not very, like, one cutter, not too heavy. This composite with it's got 2 connections. It's being read 1 time, 0 milliseconds. Same with this cutter, 1 time 0 milliseconds. So you can see that this one here, we got an 8 times 0 milliseconds. So we're working with like real fractions here. But that's a pretty cool way. You don't have to keep it in debug mode. It's not something that you always want to check, but every once in a while you'll see something where it's like 14 times 0. I mean, 14, our numbers are starting to climb, but it basically just means it's going up 14 times, going back and forth. It's reading all the nodes. Let's see if we can find something that's like actually heavy. This is a good diagnostic to run on this one, but here it would take 59, it's 59 times back and forth. It's still reading at 0 milliseconds, so it's still pretty quick. You'll start to see these numbers change when you get into like big master controller rigs. They'll change. But when you've got like one node and one node, they're both equal. So I guess it's a bit of a trick question. Okay, let me finish up this drawing and these drawings, and I guess we'll call today a day. Necklines. Which one's the necklines? Not the neckline. Oops. Oops. Trying not to add any more like overlap, but better than nothing. Might delete this piece. This piece is just looking dumb. That might be too close to her face to, maybe the other shadow would hide it. That would be nice. All right, so that's the chin piece. Let's double check, make sure I got all of that. No, I did not get all of that. Control T, let's delete everything up here. Next one, which is the bangs shadow. Oh. Okay, and did I not add the one for the ear? Did I not add that? I could have sworn that I did. Ear shadow, perfect. All right, let's see. jaw. Alright, so now we've got our shadow on the underlay, which means it's going to affect our cutter, so we don't want that. Let's double check. I have a feeling we want to pull from the color or the color layer instead of the whole thing. So let's swap these out. Let's do this. Copy view. I don't know where that's going, but let's swap that out. Cut body. We'll leave that there, and I'll investigate that another time. I have no idea what this cutter is for right now. Okay, we got our wonder if I could use the eraser tool and like almost erase a little bit of a texture into these so they're not so sharp when I cut them. Copy. You. Okay, better. Better than nothing. Sometimes I feel like such a used car salesman. Okay. What's left? The ear. I think this is the last one. I don't know if this should be attached to the ear. Okay, and plug that in. And this shadow is cut or not cut? Is this shadow cut or not cut? Let's play a game. It is cut. We are going to, it can only be seen by the body. Yeah, Control H. Right. Yeah. Can only be seen by the body, which is all the way over here. only be seen by the layer art. And then we're going to cut that, copy view. We're going to cut that by the shirt, no, not the shirt pattern. We are going to cut that by the neckline, but we're only going to take it from this one. There we go. That's good enough. Alright, so now this composite is garbage, and this piece of spaghetti can go back to where we need it. Whoa, holy smokes. Alright, she's coming along. We'll call it quits for now, but wow. She's looking good. There's going to be a little bit of problem solving at the end. I mentioned I want, like, not that I want it to be done next week, but that it could be done next week. But we still got a lot of texture to bring in. We got to set up a couple deformers. Finish our pegs. So maybe 2 weeks after this. It's hard to say. I say 2 weeks all the time. It's going to be 2 weeks. What does our clock look like? Let's see. What's the schedule look like? So we've got 25th, August 1st. So it's going to be August next week. Can't believe that. And then August 8th. Yeah. All right. The 22nd, I'm probably going to have to take off. I won't be able to, I think I'll be traveling that week, and I think that's going to be too hard for me to have a rig along. So if I can get it done before the 15th, that would be the best. But I think maybe the 18th, maybe the 15th should be done. Yeah, cool. So next week, we'll keep going. I'll try and Toon Boom in next week. I used to learn more about the deformers at this level. Yeah, well, it's gonna be pretty simple deformers, but a lot of envelope deformers. We'll see about adding some weighted deformers on a couple of things if we need to. The rig's kind of, we've got lots of moving pieces, but it's definitely coming along. And we have most of the pivot points, or the pegs set. We really only have to do this chunk, and then we have to set the pivots, but I have to rig that back arm. But I think I'm just gonna duplicate the one arm and bring it over, and that won't take long at all. And then just update the hand. But yeah, she's looking good. We have to find those highlights for her nose. She's got a little nose here and a little line here that we're kind of still missing. But let's see. Let's get rid of the thing underneath. Oh, let's cut this. Let's cut the this bangs shadow. And then she's gonna look so sleek. Okay, copy view, only can be seen in the hair and the forehead. We'll have a fun time like locking all the textures so that we can actually grab the pieces that we're trying to. Oh my gosh, where is the head of this character? Here. What just happened? What layer did I just hook that up to? Oh, that's why. The line layer. Okay. Color art. There we go. There she is. Whoa. We're going to be able to play the game. Which one's the rig and which one is the Photoshop file after. when it's all said and done, that'll be a fun game. All right. There's always one more thing. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll keep at it this next week. What did we do today? We did a whole bunch. It just feels like this rig's been. It's just this one's been a bit chaotic. It's hard to stay really focused. So we're really jumping around doing these Photoshop files, but it's kind of fun. Have a nice week, and see you Tuesday. Take care. Bye.